सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Together we'll chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, verses 1 to 10.
ॐ अथ षोडशोऽध्यायः श्रीभगवानुवाच अभयं सत्त्वसंशुद्धिः ज्ञानयोगव्यवस्थितिः दानं दमश्च यज्ञश्च स्वाध्यायस्तप आजवम् अहिंसा सत्यमक्रोधः त्यागः शान्तिरपैशुनम् दया भूतेष्वलोलुप्त्वम् मार्दवम् ह्रीरचापलम् तेजक्षमा धृतिः शौचम् अद्रोहो नातिमानिता भवन्ति सम्पदम् दैवीम् अभिजातस्य भारत दम्भो दर्पोऽभिमानश्च क्रोधः पारुष्यमेव च अज्ञानं चाभिजातस्य पार्थसम्पदमासुरीम् दैवी सम्पद्विमोक्षाय निबन्धायासुरीमता मा शुचः सम्पदम् दैवीम् अभिजातोऽसि पाण्डव द्वौ भूतसर्गौ लोकेऽस्मिन् दैव आसुर एव च दैवो विस्तरशः प्रोक्तः आसुरं पार्थ मे शृणु प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च जना न विदुरासुराः न शौचं नापि चाचारः न सत्यं तेषु विद्यते असत्यमप्रतिष्ठं ते जगदाहुरनीश्वरम् अपरस्परसम्भूतम् किमन्यत् कामहैतुकम् एतां दृष्टिमवष्टभ्य नष्टात्मानोऽल्पबुद्धयः प्रभवन्त्युग्रकर्माणः क्षयाय जगतो हिताः काममाश्रित्य दुष्पूरम् दम्भमानमदान्विताः मोहाद् गृहीत्वा सद्ग्राहान् प्रवर्तन्ते शुचिव्रताः
So, this was the GD we had last Sunday. The members were Deepraj, Narendraji, Kalyanji, Ramchandran, Ashya, and Prashant. The question was, how can we how can we retain mindfulness in and through all the tasks without being distracted or mechanical? There was no consensus on it.
How can we retain mindfulness in and through all the tasks without being distracted or mechanical? I really don't know how y'all can not have consensus on this, because the answer is everybody knows the answer. What is the answer? Who wants to tell us what is the answer?
Morning study.
Very good. Okay, everybody knows the answer. This is the one question everybody has an answer for. So, what is happening? Why can't we retain our mindfulness or our concentration? That's the question. If you know why you cannot retain it, then you will know what to do. So, what is happening? The mind is full of desires. The mind runs to wherever it's desired. Right now in class, if you have a desire, suddenly your mind will go, oh, what happened to that FD? It was going to mature. Did it mature? It's gone. Why is it gone there? Desire is there. So the mind will go to its desires, especially in the action. In the action, straight away, what's the desire? Will I get the fruit of the action? Whatever your fruit is. Or nervousness. My God, I was not able to do it last time. Will I be able to do it this time? So the mind is constantly running to its areas of desire. It is the job of the intellect to hold this mind in place. Hold this mind in place means to keep it on the present action. Okay, you keep it whatever is the present action. Now you're in class. Can your intellect keep your mind on the class? So many things will be happening in the world. Ping, your phone will go. Somebody has sent you a forward. Now you're curious, what is in this forward? You can see that 11:30. No, you have to see it now. This is the nature of the mind. That is why we suggest to everybody, keep your video on. Because when your video on is, you feel little nervous in going and looking what was that thing. So therefore, keep it on. It will be conducive to concentration. Yeah? So why does the mind run? It's full of desires. What can you do about it? The intellect has to hold the mind onto the present action. But the intellect finds it difficult or impossible to do this. Why does the intellect find it so difficult to do it? The intellect is stronger than the mind. It should be able to hold it. It's natural for the intellect to hold the mind. Why can't it do it? Because you have starved the intellect. You have fed the mind. You made it mota taza. Mind has become tuntun. But intellect has been kept starved. उसको उसकी खुराक ही नहीं दे रहे हो. Now, what is the food of the intellect? Vedanta, reason, judgment, analysis. So, therefore, every morning get up and study Vedanta. Study the Bhagavad Gita, study Vedanta. Study it doesn't mean read it, it means read it 20% and think about it 80%. Because that thinking will strengthen the intellect. So, once that intellect gets strengthened, it is able to hold the mind. When the mind is held in place on the current action, this is what everybody is nowadays calling mindfulness. In Vedanta, we call it intellectfulness because your intellect is there. But mindfulness is also an acceptable term, I suppose. That means your mind is full of the current action, not of anything else. Okay, so what is the answer to the question is, how do you do it? Get up in the morning and study. Now, why would you not have a consensus on this? Who had disagreed with this, and why?
Jahangir, is best if you ask the question.
But I asked the question, who disagreed and why? What was the point of disagreement?
The point of disagreement was that, okay, so the answer we kind of came to was that you fix the ideal and then you work according to it, because without the ideal, you won't maintain concentration on your tasks.
Why you jumped? Without an intellect, you cannot maintain.
Yeah, so the thing was we're saying without the ideal, the intellect cannot focus on the task. Not true?
Not true.
Okay.
That means no selfish person is able to concentrate. That's not true. Many selfish people are able to concentrate. That's why they do well. No, not true. Now, so you may then say, okay, then where does the question of the ideal come? So where the question of the ideal comes is, the mind is full of desires. It is rushing all over the place. Why? Because it's full of selfish, self-centered desires. So it's going here, there, मुझे ये मिलेगा, वो मिलेगा, ये सब नाटक चल रहा है उसमें. The intellect has to grow very strong to be able to hold this thing in position. It's be quite strong. Right? Now, to help you do this, if your mind gets attracted to a higher ideal, the number of desires only start reducing. So even with a relatively weaker intellect, you're able to hold the mind. So that's where the ideal fits. That if you are not, your intellect is not developed so much. See, there's some people who develop the intellect. They're very, very smart. They're very, very capable of holding their minds. They don't do all this. They've developed it already. But now when we are trying to develop it, we can do two things. We can create a situation where the mind is not running all over the place with the ideal, or we can create a situation where the intellect is so sharp that it can hold it in position. But you don't need to choose. Why don't you do both? But what is the crux of the issue is the intellect is holding it. You're making it more difficult or less difficult, but the job is of the intellect.
Yeah, I mean that the questioner wanted an answer more elaborate than just the intellect.
So you can wait, listen. The question wants an answer more elaborate. You can't change the answer. Answer will not change. You can elaborate on the answer. You can say, okay, so what does it mean that the intellect is holding the mind? You can elaborate. Then you can say something like, when your intellect understands that it is not thoughts that get you the results, but action that gets you results. Therefore, the quality of the action is the quality of the result. Then it gets the power to hold the mind in position because it's understood this thing. Now you're elaborating. But you can't change the answer because he said, I need elaboration. That was too much. 2 plus 2 will remain 4. Elaborate means a boy has 2 apples. Then I give him 2 more apples. Now he has 4 apples. Elaboration. And say, I want an elaborate answer. So now my answer is 104. You can't do that.
Yeah, so the consensus was the elaboration. We disagreed on the what the elaboration should.
But at least you started with ideal. That is not correct. The answer itself is not correct. Anything else on this? Yes, Aditi.
Can I?
Yes. You're saying something? Oh, sorry, Aditi, question or something. What are you saying? Okay or not okay?
No, it's okay, but it is a regular process of studying regular study.
I
It
can't.
is a regular. It is a regular process of doing study. Getting?
Bluetooth mode.
I think you write down your thing in the chat. I'll listen to what Aditi is saying.
Now I think you will receive it.
Okay.
It's okay now.
I heard this.
Yeah. The regular study. We are doing study regularly every day morning. So that is a normal
that
process.
is news to me. You're listening to lectures, I know. That you are studying, I don't know. I have no way of verifying that. I can see you, so I know you're in the class.
Let's say Vedanta student, they do study regularly. But what we required is immediate urgency, because we need to attend to all the tasks all the time. And it's not only the Vedanta, everybody's requirement it is to focus on the action. And people do it as you said. As you said that even selfish people do concentrate in action. So what is required is the importance to the action. The intellect must give necessary importance to action, so he will naturally have the alertness to the action.
Okay.
Am I right?
The question I'm struggling to understand. Are you okay with the answer, or you have some clarification on it?
No. Answer is okay. I understood that one has to control the mind, drifting of mind all the time. And for that, what is required is regular study.
What is required is an intellect. How to build the intellect is through regular study.
Regular study. But is also another point. No, if once the intellect gains the importance of the task, he naturally gains the necessary concentration for doing a task.
No. A student going to exams understands the importance and gets more worried because of it. He gets more anxiety ridden because of it.
Okay. But then what is we have a goal, and goal gives us importance.
It's not importance is your mind recognizes importance. Your intellect has to understand that action will give you fruit, not thought. So once you understood this, you'll be able to put aside the thought and focus on the action. Like that, the intellect will understand many things. I'm just giving you one because Deepraj said elaborate. So I elaborate. But one of these things, and each so many, you can have so many. For instance, intellect can say that, if I keep the cell phone in the same room where I'm studying, then I will get distracted. So I'll go and put the cell phone in another. So many things you can do to help yourself concentrate. So the more the intellect works, the more you'll be able to realize, how do I get the most out of this?
Right. But the giving value or importance to present task will give us the alertness, necessary focus. Also,
No, we just did that. No, what is the use of repeating it? If
yeah,
a
okay.
student is very interested in the exam result, will it give him a young boy or a young girl seeking a job understands the importance of the interview? Does it give the person alertness? No, not true.
Okay. That means if I am goal oriented, which gives me necessary importance of everything that I do, will also not give me
No,
mindfulness.
no. It's not whether you think it important or not. It is whether your
Yeah.
intellect is working or not.
Okay.
What is the causal relationship here? That's what we're
Okay.
trying to identify.
Right. Causal relationship is understood, but yes,
Not
you
understood.
see,
The more you understand the stronger the intellect is, the more it will hold the mind. Now, strengthening of intellect can mean various different things in various different circumstances. You get a philosophical answer. Now you go to a self-development, these motivational speakers, they will tell you, have a shower, something they'll tell you. Whatever, any trick or tip they'll give you, fine. But if it doesn't make your intellect become alert, it's not going to work.
yes.
Aditi?
Hariom Jankiji, I partly got the answer in this conversation. So in the sense, in this question, we were primarily making the mistake of using the intellect only in the higher sense, in terms of a spiritual sense where you need to have a goal, or was it more in the general sense?
No, there is no general sense or higher sense. It is in the quality of the intellect.
Yes.
It's
So
not
now,
two different senses. It's the quality of the intellect. As good as the quality of the intellect, that much of the mind it will hold. Like a selfish person, let's say a student is very selfish, wants to come first in exams, but his intellect is strong, so he will focus. Right now, why do we call the quality of this intellect weak? Because he will be able to apply it in a few areas. He will not be able to apply it across the board. So when the quality of the intellect grows because the human being is grown, then he'll be able to apply it in a wider number of areas. If you're seeking self-realization, you can't do it with this kind of intellect because everything will have to be controlled. That a selfish person will not be able to do. So this is not high. Other senses is just about the quality of the intellect. It's like there could be a very intelligent child. He's in 5th standard. There's another intelligent child, just as intelligent, but he's in 10th standard. So obviously, 10th standard guy will do better than 5th standard. But intelligence is intelligence.
so basically the point is that you grow in that area where from selfishness to unselfishness, that when the quality, the intellect also proportionately grows and is stronger in that,
This is actually
loosely.
the other way around. When the intellect sees more, you become more unselfish. The
But then to
quality is
see more
considered
also,
low because it's seeing so little.
but you also need the intellect to see more, right?
Yes, that's the causal relationship. When the intellect sees more, then it can control more. No, if it's not seeing it only, sab andhera hai. Let's say you put blinkers on like this, so itna hi dikh raha hai, right? This is like this. So when the blinkers open up, then you see more, and then when you see more, you can act in that area.
But then you also need an intellect to see more,
Not
right?
also need the intellect sees more. Who else is going to see more? Mind cannot see more. You not also need an intellect. You need the intellect to see more, and when you see more, your mind becomes unselfish. It's like a cycle. So when you become unselfish, then the mind is not bothering you so much. Now it's a conducive environment for the intellect to see even further.
So
When
how
the
does this,
mind-
sorry.
Because the intellect, by definition, remember, intellect goes into the areas unknown, right?
Yes.
Mind cannot go into areas unknown. So you study and you learn the importance of the intellect. You're also studying and you're learning what are the causal relationships for unselfishness. And selfishness, unselfishness. You're learning all this. So the intellect is gradually opening out the blinkers, hopefully. If you're really doing it properly, it's opening the blinkers. So as it's opening the blinkers, it starts seeing something. So it becomes a little unselfish. Now this mind becomes quieter then. And when the mind is quieter, the intellect has a more conducive environment to open up even further. When it opens up further, you realize it's like what these NGOs call sensitizing people. Okay? We don't know the troubles that maybe AIDS patients or old age home, I don't know, somebody or the other, we don't know their troubles. So they try to educate us, they use the word sensitize. So when you're sensitized, you're sort of, you know those blinkers, and मुझे सिर्फ मेरा घर दिख रहा है, अब कुछ और दिखने लगता है, you know, it opens. Then the mind goes in that direction. It gets inspired with that. When it gets inspired with that, agitations come down. When the agitations come down, suddenly something else dawns on the intellect, because now the covering of the intellect is reduced. You know, that darkness of selfishness is reduced. And it opens some more. And you know, sort of you progress in that manner.
So, Janki ji, what happens in the area where there has been a growth in the intellect, but still being a human being, it's not so black and white. There are certain areas that the same intellect has grown. In certain areas, it just gets stuck in some form of selfishness. So then how do you really relate this opening of the intellect?
Knowledge only, same thing. Every stage it is knowledge. You just learn more and more. That's why I was telling about the sensitized. Every stage nobody is black and white. Everybody is somewhere here. Until you realize you're the self, kuch to barrier hoga hi na. So whatever that barrier is, only knowledge will be able to deal with that barrier. Knowledge means your intellect has to crash through that strong layer of ignorance.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bharat?
Yeah, so development of the intellect through morning study is a long drawn process, right? I mean, so the first immediate benefit of morning study would be the active participation of the existing intellect. Would that be correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because when you start thinking, when you start questioning, like, you know, we take it for granted, right? कि मुझे कुछ दिख रहा है. I am seeing this thing, it's blue. And it's blue. But when you start thinking philosophically, like how we did in the class yesterday, to my eyes it is blue. To dog, it is probably gray. So is it blue or is it gray? If somebody had another kind of vision, you know, what is that? What is above and below our vision called? These are all our science students when we need them.
Infrared or something?
Yeah. Okay, well, we have, thank you, Aditi. We have infrared vision. What will we see it as? So, is it or is it not? This is the philosophical, what should I say? The philosophical quest. When you ask the question, is it or is it not? Otherwise, we are all very convinced about everything, unfortunately. And that conviction is the problem. We're so sure he's a good person, he's a bad person. उसको ऐसे करना चाहिए था, उसको ऐसे नहीं करना चाहिए. I wonder when every time when we say ki, oh, that person shouldn't have done that, then if we were in exactly that position, would we have done the same or would we have done differently? We don't know. You've not been in that position to know what you would do. So only the wearer knows where the shoe pinches. We have very strong views. Many of us are of the view and belief that this is good, that is bad, this, that. what Momita spoke of yesterday, moral indignation. The big philosophical question is it so? Oh, these businessmen, they are very horrible. They give bribes. Are they horrible because they give bribes? What would you do if you were in that position? Suppose your nature is of business. Suppose that you live in an environment where you have to give bribes to do a business. What would you do? Not live your Swadharma? Not do the business? Give the bribe? It's not so simple, right, in life. It's very easy for a Vedanta teacher. For me, let us say I say it. I suppose I take a stance like this. Do you know that in my whole life, I have never given a bribe? I have never taken a bribe. And I get into all this morality about it. What I'm telling you may be true. But if I'm so great because I didn't take a bribe, but the question is, whoever offered me one? Anyone offered me? Imagine, what will people offer me a bribe for? Mahesh will offer me a bribe. Come on, I'll give you dinner. You make sure that you say in class my answer is very good. What bribe will anyone give me? Right? So that I've never taken a bribe is no virtue because now किसी ने मुझे offer ही नहीं किया. I've never given a bribe. That I cannot claim as a virtue because who will I give a bribe to? I've only dealt with my students. अब इनको bribe देकर मैं क्या करूँगी? Well, I'll give you a bribe. You study in the morning, okay? ऐसे कुछ हो सकता है क्या? So what is this virtue? Is it a virtue at all? Now imagine there's a person who's in a government organization. Everybody around him is taking a bribe. He didn't enter to take a bribe, but he is caught in a situation where now that's the system. That's how it works. What would he do? What would you do? So, the philosophical quest is always the capacity to wonder more than to conclude. When you may say that then I will become an indecisive person. This is a very interesting phenomenon that when you get the capacity to wonder about the truths, you actually become a very decisive person. It's those who cannot wonder about the truth who are not decisive.
Janki ji,
Because,
in relation to what you said, Janki ji,
okay, go ahead, Meera.
yeah, this when you talk about, you were just saying, suppose you wonder about the quality of uprightness, then probably that will be a guidance for you not to take a bribe, despite you being in a situation where everybody is taking a bribe. Will
No,
that be
may
a
or may
leading
not
light?
be possible.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I have not been in these situations. What can I say about them? There was a time where the people who didn't take bribes could coexist with the people who did take bribes. Okay, whether that's so or not, nobody knows. I mean, I don't know. And just as a philosophical debate, suppose the situation is such that you cannot exist there. Then make it more complicated. Say you cannot exist there without taking a bribe, and you have dependents. You have aged parents, you have children. What would you do? It's all okay to be a Hindi film that this man stood against bribery and this and okay, all that is all right. The difficulty of choice at any point. In fact, that's what he's talking about in verse 7, the difficulty of choice.
Janki ji, can you elaborate on the wonderness and becoming more decisive? That part I didn't catch with an example, if possible.
When you wonder about philosophy, your desires reduce. because you're not very sure that getting it is any good in the first place. So your desires have reduced. When your desires reduce, you become decisive immediately. It's a very strange phenomenon. The more indecisive you are, the quicker the decisions you take. It's like that. Like, what does this even mean? Somebody in some class will ask me, that day you said if you're more indecisive, you will take quick decisions. And I'll say, what? I don't know. But in a context, what does it mean that you're not sure you know the truth? And therefore now you're not sure that you should be getting X, Y, or Z. So your craving is reduced. So now you're like very matter of fact. What needs to be done, do it. This person needs to be fired. This person needs to be praised. I mean, matter of fact.
Janki, then what about studying all these divine qualities? They're supposed to guide you, right? When you make a decision, right?
Right. That is what helps you, no? If you're truly guided, your desire level comes down, your decision power increases. You're guided to be whatever, to have arjavam, let us say. You really think you should do that. Now, when you're thinking about arjavam, you're not craving for a particular fruit, you're thinking about arjavam. So therefore, your actions become clear that, okay, this needs to be done, do it.
Janki, in this case, uprightness, what I meant was, you said it will be very difficult when you're in a situation when you have dependence, etc., to make a decision, to go along with the, prevailing system or not. So in that case, you may be, become an outcast in the group of people working with you. But is it a right stand? I mean, you can if you want
I
to.
can never answer
You
that.
can't take. Oh, okay.
It's so many factors are involved. So many.
Right.
What is the full picture? Whether, being an outcast, okay, fine, be. But some people may not be in a position where that option is available to them. Imagine if you are caught in a situation, you have to take care of the medicines of your aged parents and you have 2 children in school. Can you take that option? Life is complicated. When you start realizing there are so many aspects to it, you become less fanatical about anything. That's why in India there is no fanaticism. There is debate and discussion, but no fanaticism. That we'll discuss, we'll debate. There are many sides to this, many aspects. I can bring in many angles. And the more angles I bring, the more that answer is going to change.
There are no black and white. There's no black and white in anything, actually, in life.
Yeah, I mean, that no statement can you make. There are cases where it is quite clearly black and white. You can't really make any statement. Momita, but a developed intellect gives you discriminating ability so you can conclude more decisively. If I'm unsure, then how does that make me more buddhi driven?
You answered that. Yeah.
Anuja, actions give results, but thought level also creates karma. Yes, thought level gives you thought level results, but I'm not sure why you're saying that. If you have negative thoughts, you will have agitations in your mind. If you go and actually kill somebody, they'll catch hold of you and put you in the jail. So if you do it physically, you'll get a physical result. If you do it mentally, you'll get a mental result. Mamita. An example could be how mutually respectful soldiers of different countries can kill in war without hate and without appreciation. Yes, even in sports. You're in competition, but you shake hands. I'm not sure what we are giving an example of, but yes.
Like I think Aditi asked that question about how when we are not sure, but we are taking decisive action. Not sure means in the sense I meant that I'm not sure that this is like if my country, I'm a soldier and my country wants me to go and like the Vietnam is US soldiers, then I'm doing it. I may not have the moral conviction that it's correct. In that sense, I was saying.
I don't know. I mean, you have to have moral conviction that whatever action you have chosen is the right one. Otherwise, you will not be fully there. That is why they were so dichotomous. No? That's all the misery that the Americans in Vietnam faced. They were not morally convinced. And that's
But
why.
But then the bribery example has that same issue. Like, I can be morally conflicted.
No, I'm morally convinced that I have to do this particular action. I have to take it or not take it. Whatever you're convinced of. But
Yeah,
you
so
have to be
that's
morally convinced.
so the American soldier. Like, I am a soldier. I'm an American soldier. So where I cannot be insubordinate and question their decisions. Then for everything it becomes a like.
No, that's what I'm saying. You have to be sure about your moral conviction. Should
Yeah.
I be subordinate or not should be clear to you. Otherwise, you will be very dichotomous.
Oh, but this is similar to the bribery example from that point of view. I meant like I know this is not um like giving a bribe is not good, but if I don't do this, then that is the consequence. So I'm just like doing this.
I am convinced that for me now, this is the right thing to do.
So
If I'm not driven by desire, I will have that conviction.
So isn't that the same for the soldier?
No, moral conviction you have to have. No, otherwise, how will you?
Yeah, so I have moral conviction that this duty of mine precedes the my
Then you're
analysis
fine.
of
Then you're fine. You said that I'm not convinced. The American soldiers were not morally convinced.
No, like if I think that even if as a human being, I feel it's no, there is no. I mean, it's not correct for for me to intervene in the affairs of another country. But my duty as a soldier precedes my, overrides that duty.
Yeah, whatever your conviction is, nobody here. We are not talking about what is right or wrong. Yes, you have to be sure about the action you're taking.
Yeah, so that is buddhi overriding the mind, right?
Yes, we're not discussing this. What we are talking about, or what we were talking about then, was that when your investigation is of something higher, you don't have desires for the lower. So when you don't have desires for the lower, what needs to be done is very self-evident to you. That was the point there.
Okay.
Now, we were studying, for all those who are coming to this class for the first time, since we had the yajna last time, the class, because we are all over in different places, they did group discussion, and therefore we are discussing what they discussed and some more. But what we are really doing in this class is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, one of the simplest chapters of the Gita. And it's simple because you're about to see why it's so simple, because nowhere does he explain as much as he has explained in this chapter. Now, in chapter 16, verses 7 to 15, we're doing the nature and conduct of the Asuric people. Asuric people and divine people, the divine and the demoniac, are us. There's no difference. There's no asuras with long teeth and horns or something. No such thing. It's just us. We have good tendencies, we have bad tendencies. Now, how do our bad tendencies manifest? these verses are very, very simple in showing us what we are doing erroneously. So first quality he gives of the Asuric is pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana viduhu asuraha. Asuraha janaha pravrittim cha nivrittim cha na viduhu. The Asuric people do not understand what is pravritti. Pravritti means to be done, and nivritti, what is not to be done. This is the fundamental problem of human existence, the choice of action. When and what do you choose? A particular action may at a particular time be right and at another time not be right. Same action. Now, the greatness of the human being is what will you choose? If you are the Yuvraj and you have been banished to the forest for 14 years, you have the support of every person in the country. Will you rebel or will you follow? This is a choice of action. It would have been extremely easy to say, no, this is nonsensical. This is my rightful role. You cannot take it from me. And if you do, the whole country will support me in refusing this. And that's true. You know, when Rama left, the whole Ayodhya left with him. And the only reason the Dashratha didn't leave with him is because he was too bad a condition to leave. Otherwise, the whole lot would have left. You know, Rama had to actually secretly escape from the people. They loved their prince. They wanted him in the chair. The power he had over his people was amazing. Had he said, my father doesn't want it, only one lady in this whole country wants it, why should I listen to this nonsense? Would anyone have criticized him? He'd have had right on his side. He'd have right on his side and he has might on his side. But what does he do? He says, no, I will leave. Everybody pleads with him, please don't leave. He says, no. Raghukula Reet Sada Chaliyai Pran Jai Par Vachana Na Jai. My father's vow, I am going to keep. That's what he chose. And because he chose like that, we are talking about it today. Had he chosen the other thing, he would not be Rama. So, pravrittim cha nivrittim cha asuraha janaha na vidu. The Asuric people do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. You see Shakespeare's plays, they are all showing this. Everyone is, and all the tragedies are definitely showing. Macbeth was loved by his king. King Duncan used to love Macbeth. What did Macbeth do? He went and killed Duncan to become king. So what is the consequence? Macbeth will sleep no more. When he comes out, a voice tells him, he kills Duncan, he comes out. Macbeth will sleep no more. Othello had the most wonderful wife, but he accused her of infidelity and kills her. What are the choices people are making? King Lear had 3 daughters, Goneril, Regan, and Cordelia. Goneril and Regan were awful people. Cordelia was a gem of a girl. What did King Lear choose? That he will divide the kingdom between these 2 vicious daughters and banish the good daughter. This is choices. elaborate the meaning of pravritti and nivritti. Pravritti and nivritti means, pravritti means action to be done, and nivritti means action not to be done. So what is to be done, what is not to be done? Should we set up Vedanta University? Is it something to be done or not to be done? Now that you set up a course, should I join the course or not join the course? Should I get up in the morning and study or not get up in the morning? Should I eat this gulab jamun or not eat this gulab jamun? Every single moment of our life, we are met with this choice, pravritti and nivritti. This choice has to be undertaken by the intellect. And that's why it goes wrong, because the intellect is not developed. Should Putin stop the war? Compromise with Zelensky? Or should the war continue? Should Netanyahu stop it, whatever he is doing in Palestine? Or shall he continue and finish them all off? What should Trump do? What should Modi do? And most importantly, what should I do? Do or not? Attend class or don't attend class? Having attended class, study or don't study? Hundreds of questions in our minds. There are four. Who will decide? Your intellect will. If the intellect is not developed, you have to choose incorrectly. There's no option to this. There are four grades of an intellect. The highest grade of intellect anticipates. I know that in my life, many changes are yet to come. And I have to be prepared for them. I know that I'm going to go old one day. I must have my investments and savings in place. I know that dirt is not conducive to health, so my environment has to be extremely clean. A sharp intellect can anticipate. That's the highest grade. How much can you anticipate? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years? How much are you anticipating? The sharpest intellects can look deep into the future and anticipate. The second grade of intellect, at the time of action, somehow manages to choose the right action. Second grade. Somehow something works at that point. Third level is, after the action, they realize that what they did was wrong. That's the third grade of intellect. And fourth grade of intellect is, even after the action, they don't realize it's wrong. So 4 grades of intellect. First kind of intellect anticipates. It knows well in advance what is to be done and what is not to be done. Every time you take care of your health, you take care of your savings and investments, you take care of your relationships, you take care of your discipline, you take care of your mind, you take care of your intellect. You're anticipating for the future. Highest grade level. If you think that the only way of removing sorrow is self-realization, and I'm working for that, high grade intellect, because you're anticipating. Second one is, at the time of action, you end up doing the right thing. Third grade is, after the action, you can recognize that, oh my God, what I did was wrong. And fourth grade, which unfortunately most people are, is after action, they don't know they've made a mistake.
Shankiri, sorry, but why call the fourth grade intellect at all? It's completely absent.
Yeah, you can say that. But it is more for us to realize our condition than anything else. The lowest quality of intellect doesn't recognize it at all. Like, suppose you buy a new shirt. You buy a shirt from the street. and you can know that you bought it on the street, so these buttons are going to be loose. So straight away there only you tighten all the buttons. And second one is you bought a shirt and that thing has gone loose, is about to fall and you catch it. You manage to save the situation. Third one is the button is gone and then you realize, yes, the button hi chala gaya. And fourth one is you're wandering around without the button and you don't know there's no button. So there's 4 grades of intellect. Yes, Momita.
Tying this back to the morning study and developing the intellect that we were talking about. So we all begin at the lowest level, don't we? I mean, we do lack ignorance and
Itna
do
bhi bura
we do
haal
lack
nahi hai.
knowledge.
We have intellect in different areas. Not everybody is we are not in the 4th grade in all things. We are in these different grades at different points. But where are we predominantly is the question.
Right.
We don't all begin like that. If you were so bad, you wouldn't be in a Vedanta class.
Yeah, I mean, but again, when we think of who are the Asuric people, we tend to think of other people as Asuric, and that doesn't help us because we miss in what ways we are. So is this labeling of people as Asuric or not? It's just a tool, right? I mean, it's not like we cannot even judge ourselves as Asuric in that sense. It's just that to know that, okay, I'm not getting this, that so the word Asuric applies to me when I'm not able to discriminate. And through morning study, I'm developing my ability. And therefore, that also gives me the compassion for someone who's made the same mistakes that I made in the past.
Yes. As you grow, you will feel always compassionate for others because you realize that the person who suffers with all this is the individual themselves. So you're always compassionate about it.
Yeah. But I feel that even after growing, like right now, I'm struggling with this, that forgiving others for the sins they continue to commit, which I used to commit, but I feel, oh, now I no longer do that. And why can't they just grow up? So that is very difficult.
Well, all these difficulties are going to continue till realization, Mamita. I'm sorry to tell you. But yes, we just get better and better every day. That's all we can do.
Thank you.
Mahesh, Jnaneshwar's guru was named Nivritti Nath. Does Nivritti also have a positive meaning? Nivritti has a positive, wait, it's not negative or positive at all in the first place, Mahesh. Pravritti means what is to be done, and Nivritti is what is not to be done. Okay, action and inaction. If you do inaction where you should be doing inaction, then you're fantastic. If you do action where you should be doing action, then you're fantastic. So you can be called Nivritti Nath or you can be called Pravritti Nath, whichever one, as long as you're doing the right thing at the right time. So Nivritti Nath merely means a person of detachment. That means he is a person who knows when to do what. That's all it's referring to. Yes, Bharat?
Just questioning the basic of this
Can't
part.
hear you.
Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yes, so far.
Okay, so just questioning the position of this, what ought to be done, what ought not to be done in the demoniac description. So this dilemma is of everybody, right? Even the divine. So I think even more so for the divine because they are prompted by good desires. So would the dilemma be more for the divine?
That is the whole thing, na? That if you don't have desires in that area, what's the dilemma? So this choice of action, I mean, if you can take it at a very gross level, okay, like he lies, he cheats, he steals, you can take it like that. But you can take it at a subtler level also, which is the difficulty of choice. And to the extent the intellect is not developed, to that extent there is a difficulty in choice. You don't know which is the right option to choose. It's the problem of human existence. So you have no option but to develop the intellect. If you don't have the discrimination, how are you going to choose? Like what is wealthy and what is not wealthy? If you don't know what is wealthy and what is not wealthy, say, oh, Vijay Mallya is so wealthy. Really, is he? Or if you say, I don't know, Ambani is so wealthy, is he? What is wealthy? Wealthy is when you have more resources than you have desires. That means your resources can get you anything that you desire. So a poor person may be more wealthy than an Ambani or an Adani. I don't know. I'm not saying they're not wealthy. I don't know them. I'm not making any comment on. The only point is the quantum of wealth doesn't determine whether you're wealthy or not. Only if your resources are greater than your desires, you're a wealthy person. So if you don't have the discrimination to understand that, all your actions are going to be wrong. So absence of discrimination is what you're saying is not incorrect, Bharat, but what he's referring to is the asuric quality of not being able to tell action from inaction. What should I do and what should I not do? I mean, I don't know why you're asking that, but if your difficulty is in choosing who to marry, you can come and check with us. We'll help you. I don't know what you are having a difficulty deciding.
Ask who, divine or the demoniac?
Oh, that is a choice you need to make. You will have to decide. So, okay, so that's it for today. And yes, so what are we doing on the plot? All exciting stuff is going on the plot. There are now 6 cabins. We are all going tomorrow to see it. The sliding windows have been put on the. You have pictures or not to show? Whoever wants to come can go with us tomorrow. I mean, you'll have to bring your car, but y'all can come. We're going to see all that thing. The cabins are going to be. I hope something is up. 1 cabin is up, and 5 are being put up in the meanwhile. You have any pictures? No pictures to be shown today?
Yes, Omkar has it.
Okay.
Om-
Omkar is not showing it. But whatever. Even if.
Yeah, there is.
Okay, so cabin number 1 is sort of ready. You can see. Yes. This is the cabin. I mean, all the work is still to be done. Obviously, painting, painting, furniture, everything is there. This is the washroom that is also being made. There's a balcony outside here. And this is the room. This is from outside. And what are they doing here? Oh, this is an old picture. They're still digging, I think. This is the view from the first cabin. And here is Jayashree and one of our possible CSR sponsors. She has taken somebody there. So tomorrow when we go, we probably take, this is the, what is it? The staff quarters and laundry room.
Yes.
This is the library and the office, which you all have seen many times before. But now we've got, this is the Hanuman Mandir. We got this Murti. I don't know if you know. It was there on the plot. So we made this little platform and have kept him there since he was found there. This is the windows in the washroom, I think. This is the windows come up in the office. This is the sliding doors at the library. All the painting and all, a lot of work is still there, but as you can see, things are moving and progressing. Hopefully, we'll start the 1-year course soon. Before we do that, we'll have a few retreats, hopefully, and y'all can all come whenever we have a retreat. So it's moving along. I wish I could say the same about what's in the bank account, but at least what's on the plot is moving along. So that's it for today. Okay.
Hari Om Janki ji.
Hari Om Janki ji.
Thank you, Janki.